here where the 2-seed Eagles don't necessarily do it pretty, but they get it done. This was amongst their best plays of the game. Dallas Goedert keeping the defense at bay with the stiff arm twice, finds the end zone. Josh Jacobs, one of the best runs you're going to see. Down to the goal line and in, but after review, just short. Would set up a Packer touchdown to keep this one respectable, but then at the 5-minute mark, 4th and 3, gotta know your feet. A rash of injuries forcing some reserves into action for the Packers. That one out of bounds, and from there it was the ball game. 22-10. The Eagles take care of business and stave off what Dallas could not a year ago. That's a live Packers side. The Packers season comes to a close. Struggles here for Jordan Love and 3 consecutive losses to end this season. All right, let's dive into it all with my guys. Lige Douzable, Bryant McFadden, Joe Musso, your host, fellas. It wasn't a pretty football game. Winner, loser, you choose your side. There were really no pictures on the scorecard per se here, Mac, but the Eagles get the job done in an ugly fashion. How were they able to do that, and despite not having their fastball, still find their win?
Their defense and Saquon Barkley. Their defense was outstanding, and you look at where they currently are as a unit. This is a team that you have to respect because they do things the right way in all 3 levels defensively. Because today, Jalen Hurts was not at his best. The passing game was not at their best, but their defense made sure they made life miserable for Jordan Love. When you look at the mishaps that was caused by the Philadelphia Eagles defensively, Leger, I'm talking about 3 interceptions, a fumble, and don't forget a missed field goal, a makeable field goal. Green Bay was not at their best, but Philly made things difficult, more difficult for them. So if you look at what Philly can do, I mean, no question, I felt good about their defense moving forward. But today they had to be at their best because clearly the rhythm was not there. And when you look at Jalen Hurts missing the time that he's missed, he needed his defense to back him in today's matchup.
Yeah, B-Mac, and that was the concern with Jalen Hurts essentially missing a month before this game. I liken this to the 2022 season when they went to the Super Bowl. Let's not forget he had the shoulder injury, but he had that Week 18 game to kind of knock that rust off. Well, that's why he started off slow in this first half, because he hasn't played in essentially a month. To your point, B-Mac, this defense was on fire. Shout out Nolan Smith because he made life hell for Zach Tom, the right tackle for the Green Bay Packers. Also, I love what I saw from Zach Bond. Great job in zone coverage, playing with vision to Jordan Love. Gets an interception. 3 turnovers, B-Mac and Moose, in the first half. When you're outgunned and you're outmanned, you cannot have 3 turnovers in the first half if you're the Green Bay Packers and expect to beat the Philadelphia Eagles. The defense showed up in the biggest way when they needed to. And you talked about it. Saquon at spurts in this game had his way with this defense.
Yeah, it was going to have to be a clean football game if you wanted to take a win off of these Eagles. As we take a look at some Jordan Love numbers, I know it was 3 turnovers in the first half, 2 of those belonging to Jordan Love. Love finishes the game with 3 interceptions, becomes the first player in Packers franchise history to have no touchdowns and 3 interceptions in a playoff game. We don't have to go too big picture here, but these are the games by which history measures you. What are you going to be once it is the finite reality of playoff football? What did you take away from Love's performance in this game, Mac?
He wasn't good. He wasn't good. But to your point, he finished the season not playing really, really good football. And one would say, if you look at what he did a year ago, the second half of the season is where he played his best, and then he came into the playoffs, got a playoff win, and played fairly well. But when you look at the entire body of work for Jordan Love this season, also, too, knowing that he received a handsome ransom in terms of his contract, getting $50 million per year, I don't believe he lived up to the billing, especially in today's matchup when his defense played outstanding as well. Because if you look at how bad they played in the half of play, this game was still competitive because the Green Bay Packers defense did what they were supposed to do. So for Jordan Love, it's safe to say he needs to get back to the basics because the expectations are high for Jordan Love.
Yeah.
Because he has shown flashes of high-level play, big-time throws. But if you look at how he finished this season, and then, of course, the playoff matchup today, he did not reach the level of expectations.
B-Mac and Moose, the Green Bay Packers have an identity crisis. They don't know what they want to be on offense. Is it led by Josh Jacobs? And we saw for a good portion of this game, he was the best player on this field. Or do they want to roll out the offense with Jordan Love? To B-Mac's point, the last 8 or 9 games last season, Jordan Love was on the tear. That's because Matt LaFleur opened the playbook for him and he got comfortable in the offense. Well, I felt like this year, B-Mac, you talked about it, they paid him all that money. You thought the offense would flow through him, but for spurts of the year, it flowed through Josh Jacobs and the physicality of the offensive line. So it's extremely hard for a quarterback to get in rhythm when you don't even know the identity of your offense. I think that is a question they need to answer this offseason. How is this offense going to be ran with Matt LaFleur? Is it going to be, have Josh Jacobs, have Jordan Love? Are we going to roll out the gambit for Jordan Love? Or are we going to be that physical team that tries to pound you into submission? They have to answer that question because I think it affected Jordan Love down the stretch this year.
It appered to, and this is a season-low 10-point output at the worst time for Green Bay, Jordan Love, and this offense. They finished the season 0-6 against teams with 11 or more wins. So we find that good tier, and then you got to take that step up to great. They have yet to take that step, and figuring out that identity is going to get them closer to it. But, Deuce, you laid that out so expertly. It does hearken to the Eagles as well. Maybe not an identity crisis, but still trying to figure out that proper balance between running the ball with Saquon Barkley and getting their wide receivers involved. We obviously had the moment with A.J. Brown reading his book on the sideline, just trying to stay locked in, speak some positivity into this game. But when you look at what the Eagles need to be moving forward offensively to click better than they did on this night, what does that look like to you, Deuce?
Yeah, Moose, they got to be significantly more balanced on offense. We know what Saquon Barkley is going to do, and it seems like teams are going to make Jalen Hurts beat them now. We saw him do that earlier this year with Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown, but we knew that it was going to be some rust because he hasn't played in a month. I would look for Jalen Hurts to play significantly better in the divisional round because he'll have one game where he got kind of that rust out. And you saw it disperse in the second half, Moose, him getting the Slim Reaper going and Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert being a part of the offense as well. That's the thing with A.J. Brown. I love when a star player who isn't getting the ball can still affect the game. On that touchdown for Dallas Goedert, it was his key block on the screenplay that sprung Dallas Goedert for the touchdown. So when A.J. Brown was angry earlier this year, it wasn't just because he wasn't getting the ball. It was the lack of the passing offense, period. Nobody was getting the ball. And we saw Jalen Hurts be a little timid in the first half. Thought he got into a rhythm a little bit in the second half. I would hope that carries over in the divisional round.
I can tell you this much. I'm a bit concerned, and I said this during the pregame show. Slow starts for the Philadelphia Eagles offensively. That has been their issue the entire season. Yes, the last 13 ball games, they won 12. But you look at how they get things going. It takes time. In playoff football, you don't have that luxury. Now, it didn't hurt them today, but who knows what it could do moving forward. They have to find a way to get things going. Jalen Hurts only had 39 yards throwing in the first half. I mean, that's a Pop Warner stat day at a quarterback, 11U, playing at park ball, 39 yards in the first half. No, you have to find a way to generate more because you cannot expect your defense to be as dominant as they were moving forward if you have any aspirations of getting to New Orleans. And the last thing I say about A.J. Brown, I applaud A.J. Brown in finding ways to keep his mentos intact on the sideline.
Certainly.
Because when you're a wide receiver one and you only get 3 targets, in a meaningful ball game, yes, you won, but you still feel some type of way. Because when I look at the landscape of the NFL world, when I look at other high-level wide receiver ones on their team, they get targets. Justin Jefferson, you can double, you can triple. He's going to get targets. Jamar Chase, the same thing. A.J. Brown deserves to be more involved. And it's something about this game plan in terms of what we saw today. Jalen Hurts deferred more to who? Smitty. And it wasn't like they were consistently rolling coverage to A.J. Brown. It's something about the disconnect. If they have any aspirations, Leger, Joe, in trying to get to the promised land, you got to get Levin going.
You're stirring the pot.
I'm not. I'm just talking about what I saw.
Stirring the pot.
I'm just talking about what I saw.
I saw a young man who's very talented, who needs the football, dealing with whatever he was dealing with in that moment.
Wait a minute.
In a constructive manner.
A.J. had 3 targets.
Correct.
Smitty had 4. Dallas Goedert have 6.
Let's wrap this by asking you the question. Who's that on? Is that on the offense coordinator? Is that on the quarterback, or a mixture of the two?
I think it's a little bit on both. And, Leger, you can talk about this. Being a part of teams and knowing your playmakers not getting things going, guess what the offensive coordinator does? Let's go ahead and dial a play up for him real quick. Quick screen, alley play, a quick slant, something like that, where you can kind of get that rhythm going. So it's a little bit on both. And also, too, when you look at some of the high-level wide receivers that I mentioned, their quarterbacks do what? I'm going to get you the ball.
Yeah.
I'm going to make sure I get you the ball. So I think it's a little bit on both. Now, granted, it's a good day for Philly, but if you're talking about trying to get to the promised land, Leger, I highly believe Philly can get to a Super Bowl with A.J. not being involved, in my opinion.
Yeah, this is a team that's done this all season. they keep giving you wins, but they keep giving you a little storyline, something for them to chew on talk radio.
Yeah, they giving it to her. I wasn't out there.
I'm not saying you're not giving it to her.
I'll throw him the ball if I was the quarterback.
You were calling it. You were one of those callers. Hey, this is
no.
This is Bryant from Delco. I got a couple questions about A.J. Brown. Well, maybe we get answers moving forward because the Eagles, they play on. The Packers season comes to a close here. A rash of injuries in this game, obviously, limiting the Packers as well. Worth noting as we take a look at the Eagles' last 8 wild-card games. Was a struggle. Now, moving forward, divisional football, and they will be hosting a game in the divisional round.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
Let's go now. Tiger.
First carry of the game for Brian Robinson. He'll get this to about the 38.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know, just trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
Well, they'll come up 2nd and 7. Now Daniels. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete.
I think we'll see more of them trying to get him the football out of the backfield. They love what he can do in open space, and they believe that he creates mismatches they can exploit.
A tough spot here on their opening drive. This is 3rd and 7. Here's Daniels. He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete.
That was their first 3rd down try of the game, and clearly something was off in the execution of that play. Good news, they've got a whole game left to clean that up and start clicking on those key 3rd down throws.
So still a scoreless game in the first, but they're going to go for this thing on their own side of the field on 4th down. Daniels going to throw for it. That is caught, and he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. A curious decision to go for it, but it pays off with a 1st down. They'll run for the first time with Austin Eckler. And he's fortunate to get anything from that. Give him a yard up to the 49.
Yeah, things were pretty stacked up there in the middle of the line. A lot of bodies, not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
Now 2nd and 9. Play action, now it's Daniels. Sliding out of the pocket. Slings this deep from McLaurin. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
You get a sense of what this game plan might be. They think they can take a few home run shots against this defense. They tried it there on the opening drive, but that falls incomplete.
Now play number 7 of this drive, but it's a tough 3rd and 9. Daniels looking to throw. That's complete. Terry McLaurin with it. And this won't be enough. A good secure tackle, and they stop him a few yards shy at the 46. And now the Raven defense going to call a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. And they're going to at least line up to go for it here on 4th down.
Cut 19.
To throw is Daniels. He's got his target. That's complete. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. They're able to keep the drive alive, 7 yards that time, and the decision to go for it proves to be a good one. Throwing now is Daniels. Flushed out right. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Well, anytime he reads man coverage, I don't think it's going to be the only time he'll try and hit that route to the outside in this game. He'll test the perimeter, but that time they were up to the challenge.
Here's 2nd and 10. To the air goes Daniels. There's a short one pulled in by Sinnott. And he's going to get this inside the 30. The Washington passing game dialed in now. It's a first down.
He's certainly done a nice job spreading the field on this drive. And here he finds his big tight end for good yardage. And that's what you have to do. Keep defenses guessing about where you're going to go with the football.
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. Firing quickly, but it's incomplete.
Offense was moving it a little bit, had them back on their heels, but they earn a brief pause by forcing the incompletion. That gives them a quick chance to regroup and try and mount a stand before they're backed up even further.
2nd and 10.
Here we go. Set.
Out of the gun, Eckler running it. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the red zone here at the 22-yard line. The 13th play now coming on this opening drive. Here's 3rd down. No score after 1 on EA Sports. Second quarter now from our nation's capital, and it's Washington in possession of the football as they've got it with a 3rd down coming up.
Ready, set.
They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks.
Let's go now. Ready.
Daniels from the gun on 3rd down. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. The Ravens going to use the 2nd of their timeouts. So as they talk it over, we step aside. Now Daniels going to give it up on the touch pass. He's into the secondary, and he is into the end zone for a Commanders touchdown. Terry McLaurin from 8 yards out. And the Commanders post the first points of the ball game as they take the lead here in this second quarter. Gonzalez good on the extra point. And